hidden behind the sacred stone walls of the Vatican, are not only symbols of faith and power, but also long-buried secrets. From the ancient embalming practices of saints to the guarding of legendary treasures from the Nile, mysteries linger in the shadows. Let's explore 7 chilling puzzles locked within the heart of the Vatican. So buckle up as we delve into today's mystery. But before we begin, remember that liking and subscribing will bring you incredible luck. Part 1. The Hidden Remains of Alexander the Great. For over 2 millennia, generations have pursued answers regarding Alexander the Great's funeral and final resting place. Despite numerous searches and theories, his tomb remains elusive. Interestingly, a bold hypothesis suggests that his remains might not be hidden in Egypt or Alexandria, but within a Catholic basilica in Venice. This theory posits that after Alexander's death in 323 BCE, his body was placed in Alexandria city that attracted kings and emperors for centuries. However, as history shifted, a Venetian merchant might have stolen and smuggled his body to Italy. Later, what was misidentified as St. Mark's bones ended up enshrined in the Basilica of San Marco. The absence of evidence regarding Alexander's burial site raises skepticism among scholars. For centuries, the location of his tomb was well known, visited by figures like Julius Caesar and Augustus, yet it seemingly vanished from history, leaving many to wonder if it was deliberately erased. If the mummy in St. Mark's Basilica is indeed Alexander's, it suggests a monumental cover-up of historic significance. Consequently, devout believers may have offered prayers before the remains of an emperor, not just a Christian missionary. Part 2. The Horus Theory. Over the course of human history, religious narratives have shaped cultures and moral codes. Some stories, however, bear startling similarities that puzzle our understanding. One controversial theory asserts that the story of Jesus Christ may echo that of the Egyptian god Horus. Scholars argue that Horus, worshipped long before Christianity's rise, shares remarkable parallels with Jesus. Horus was born of a virgin named Merit, an ancient variant of Mary, and his earthly stepfather was Seb, linked to Egyptian deity. Horus's supernatural birth was heralded by an angel. A star appeared, and shepherds paid their respects. Upon reaching adulthood, he underwent baptism, performed by one who would later face execution. Throughout his life, Horus had 12 disciples. He healed the sick, cast out demons, and even raised the dead. In a twist of fate, Horus faced betrayal, crucifixion, burial for 3 days, and resurrection. These similarities provoke a challenging question. Are they mere coincidences or ancient narratives retold in a new context? Traditional academics and the Church originally rejected this theory, claiming variations in Egyptian texts. While some say that Horus had 4 disciples and wasn't born in a cave, the acknowledged parallels persist, inspiring deeper inquiries into the evolution of religions and the rebirth of sacred symbols. Part 3. The Library of Alexandria. At the height of ancient civilization, Alexandria housed what some consider humanity's greatest repository of knowledge, the Library of Alexandria. Founded during the 3rd century BCE in the reign of the Ptolemaic dynasty, it attracted scholars from around the world. Manuscripts on astronomy, medicine, philosophy, and poetry filled its shelves, comprising over 400,000 scrolls. It was renowned as the heart of human intellect. Yet almost nothing remains today. Some blame Julius Caesar, who set fire to his ships during the siege of Egypt in 48 BCE. Others claim religious extremists viewed the library's knowledge as heretical. But another theory posits that the library was dismantled gradually by those wishing to control human understanding. Among the various accounts, one hypothesis stands out: that precious scrolls on ancient medicine and cosmic philosophy were relocated to Europe. This theory suggests these items found their way into the Vatican's sealed archives. While the Vatican has neither confirmed nor denied this, hidden, heavily guarded rooms with manuscripts from ancient eras remain subjects of speculation. Part 4. The Egyptian Museum of Pope Gregory. In 1839, during a European fascination with ancient Egypt, Pope Gregory XVI established an extraordinary museum, the Gregorian Egyptian Museum, within the Vatican's walls. This museum houses 9 galleries filled with Egyptian relics, statues of deities, steely inscribed with hieroglyphs, and ancient mummies. Yet one pressing question remains: How did artifacts from a distant civilization find their place in the Holy See? The unsettling answer traces back to conquests and domination. Following the defeat of Mark Antony and Cleopatra at Actium in 31 BCE, the Romans claimed remnants of Egyptian civilization as war trophies. Statues, sacred mummies, and monumental columns became extravagant decorations for Roman elites. When the museum opened to the public in the 19th century, it appeared to offer knowledge and preserve history. Yet these relics represent a troubling truth. They were taken from a distant land and brought to the Vatican through conquest. As modern Egyptians strive to reclaim their heritage, these ancient relics remain quietly housed in the Vatican, silent witnesses to a past where appropriation masqueraded as preservation. Part 5. The Forbidden Teachings of Jesus. Beneath the sun-scorched winds of Egypt. Archaeologists uncovered an extraordinary manuscript amidst decayed papyrus scraps and ancient Greek text known as the First Apocalypse of James. Long excluded from biblical canon, this text was condemned by the Church as heretical. Scholars argue it contains the forbidden teachings of Jesus, words never shared in churches or cited in catechisms. Why was this text suppressed? The answer challenges long-held beliefs. It portrays the world as a prison constructed by a false god, a deceiver rather than the Father of light. This viewpoint contradicts key Orthodox doctrines, branding it so radical that generations of suppression followed. Part 6. 2 fake mummies in the Vatican. Within Vatican walls lies a quiet chamber displaying 2 preserved forms long thought to be ancient mummies. Scientific examination by Smithsonian researchers unraveled an unexpected truth. They were not from ancient Egypt, but from the Middle Ages, approximately 500 years ago. This revelation raises unsettling questions about who created these forgeries and their purpose. The answer may reside in 19th century Europe's obsession with mummies. It's a curious period when mummies were prized possessions displayed in museums. This craze led some to fabricate ancient deaths to satisfy the desires of the powerful and pious. Unbeknownst to them, the Vatican became the unfortunate custodian of these deceptions. Part 7. When saints do not decay. In Catholic tradition, the incorruptibility of a body signifies absolute holiness. While once considered miraculous, a sobering reality regarding the preserved bodies of saints is emerging. Many owe their condition not to divine intervention, but to mummification techniques inspired by ancient Egyptian burial practices. A striking example is Pope John XXIII, whose remarkably preserved body lying in a glass coffin astonishes all who gaze upon him. Experts believe his preservation follows modern embalming procedures. Discreetly conducted by the Vatican between 1975 and 2008, reports suggest a group of specialists embalmed at least 31 saints and prominent church figures. Though this remains unspoken by the Vatican, it is a documented fact. Not every attempt proved successful. Pope Pius XII's preservation failed catastrophically. Wrapped in linen and sealed, his remains emitted a foul odor, shocking guards. Ooh. The Vatican still upholds the belief in incorrupt bodies, regardless of whether achieved through natural or artificial means. Some view this as reverence, while others question if manipulating nature to create miraculous symbols undermines true faith. If what you've heard has prompted reflection on these buried mysteries, share your thoughts in the comments. To continue exploring hidden truths and untold stories, subscribe and activate the notification bell. We'll see you in the next story.